In this series, we're unpacking each room in the blueprint of family violence, a model that maps how abuse works for male victims of family violence. Today, we're in the entryway. This is the mask and hook, where false connection is used to build dependency. In this video, we're diving into love bombing and idealization. This is tactic one of three in the mask and hook, and is one of the most disarming and perhaps seductive tactics in the blueprint. Love bombing and idealization flood you with praise, attention, and emotional intensity, not to foster real love, but to create dependency. You're not just being admired, you're being made to feel chosen, special, and destined. That intensity sets the hook, and soon you start craving their approval, a craving that becomes a lever for control later on. You're not falling in love, you're being conditioned. Because this isn't about affection, it's about bypassing boundaries, fast tracking intimacy, and cementing emotional attachment before the red flags show. Love bombing is especially effective on men who have been taught to suppress emotion, carry responsibility, and prove their worth through providing and protecting. For many of us, to be seen, praised, and emotionally affirmed, especially so early, can feel like oxygen, like finally being recognized. And once that recognition sets in, it becomes increasingly hard to question the pace, the intensity, or the imbalance in the relationship. Let's step through the different types of love bombing and idealization. This is the common shapes that this tactic takes in real life. Type 1 is mirroring. Mirroring is when they reflect back your values, interests, beliefs, and preferences to appear perfectly compatible with you. They adopt your views, repeat your language, even mirror your emotional rhythms, not to connect, but to disarm. It creates the illusion of alignment, but it's mimicry, not mutuality. Type 2 is flattery. Flattery floods you with exaggerated praise, calling you the smartest and the kindest. It's not about genuine admiration, it's about hooking you emotionally by making you feel rare and exceptional. Type 3 is over affirmation. Over affirmation is the emotional flood. You might hear things like, I love you, or we are soulmate declarations within the first few weeks of the relationship. They might talk of destiny in past lives. It's intense and overwhelming, and is designed to bypass your defenses and make emotional investment feel like urgency. Type 4 is idealization of your masculine role. This type praises the protector, the provider, the emotionally evolved man. You're told you're strong, kind, and safe, not as a reflection of who you are, but as a way to keep you performing that role. The praise isn't real, it's conditional. Type 5 is validation through comparison. Here, you're made to feel like the exception. You might hear things like, no one's ever treated me like this, or you're nothing like my ex. It feels like admiration, but it's a trap, one that binds you to their story and makes you feel responsible for their healing. Type 6 is future fusing, which is slightly different to future faking, which we'll talk about in a different video. Future fusing means they start to plan your life together, kids, wedding, retirement, before you've even built trust. It's not about dreams, it's a script, one designed to hook your sense of purpose before reality can set in. Type 7 is fast tracked exclusivity. This tactic frames instant commitment as romance. Suddenly you're exclusive, deleting apps and cancelling plans without ever agreeing to it. It's not about closeness, it's about cutting off alternatives. Type 8 is rapid communication and contact saturation. This tactic floods your day with check ins and texts and memes and photos and articles. It's designed to create the illusion of connection, which is disguised as constant communication. Type 9 is acts of service and grand gestures. This is lavish gifts, unasked favors, surprise tokens of devotion that aren't necessarily given freely. They are emotional currency and will be used later, and is probably one of the most common examples of love bombing. Type 10 is selective vulnerability. Selective vulnerability means curated emotional disclosures early on. You'll hear stories of trauma, betrayal, loneliness, used to make you feel safe, seen, and needed. But the openness isn't real, it's rehearsed, and it is a form of bait. Type 11 is rapid sexual intimacy. Rapid sexual intimacy is when physical connection is fast tracked, framed as passion, fate, or chemistry. It's not about mutual desire, it's about fast tracking connection before trust or emotional safety has been established. The pace feels electric, exciting, affirming, and real, but it confuses intensity with trust. It bonds you before you have had a chance to assess whether the relationship is right for you or not. Type 12 is isolation through romance. This one wraps control in devotion. You're all I need. You don't need anyone else. It's not intimacy, it's an erasure of the people around you. Slowly, your world shrinks until it's just the two of you, and even your boundaries start to feel like a betrayal. For me, the hook was the intensity, the feeling of being seen. She mirrored my values, my interests, my hobbies. She praised my strengths. She planned our future like it was already ours. At the time, it felt like home, like I was finally with someone who understood me. I remember thinking, this is what real love must feel like. On reflection, though, the pace was too fast, the connection was too perfect. And I didn't notice at the time because it was what I wanted. I wanted it to be real, and I convinced myself it must be. Because being chosen like that as a man felt like safety and destiny. By the time the cracks did appear, I was already emotionally invested. I was already rewriting parts of myself to match the version she wanted. That's what love bombing does. It doesn't just make you feel loved, it makes you feel responsible for keeping that love alive. This is just one of the tactics in the entryway, mask, and hook. To understand how false connection becomes control, I encourage you to explore the other tactics in this room. You'll find the full list of tactics across all rooms in the blueprint at standagain.com.au, along with tools to help you name what happened and begin to heal from it. And no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you can stand again.